right. Hello and welcome everybody to our little webinar here. It's actually not that little in terms of turnout. Yes, it's always funny how many people sign up and then how many people actually attend. But congratulations to those of you who are watching live. Your big benefit versus those who are going to watch the replay, I'm going to put this on YouTube later on, is that you can ask questions. So good or good, right? So thank you very much again for joining. I'm going to talk about what I call the sales cycle, the procedure on how you can best get your sales game going and also use this in life. It's not just a business skill. Sales is actually a life skill. Life is a sales talk. And if you can get your agenda through, that's what sales is all about, then you are, of course, able to, make people go with your agenda, do what you would like them to do. So this technique I'm going to show you today is highly persuasive, and you need to promise me that you will use this in an ethical way, because you can really persuade people to follow your lead, basically, which is what you need very often, because very often, especially when it comes to business matters, but also in life, people not always understand that what you're offering them, what you're suggesting them, is actually the best option, that you have their best interest. And that's why we need to apply a little bit of psychological warfare to help us get our agenda through in the benefit of others. So please make sure you use this in an ethical way. What I mean by this, using it in such a way that people will benefit. Just need to see here if a couple more people are joining, and then we will just add them. Okay, good. Then we should be good to go. So please make sure you have a piece of paper and a pen to write on. I'm going to give you some nuggets today that you can implement. Very, very important. 3 facts about myself and about my content and what I talk about, whether it's here on stage, other webinars, panel discussions, doesn't matter. Any of my social media, wherever you hear and see me. Sorry, some people keep joining, so I will just do that. Give me one quick second here. And then let me just quickly put everybody in here. Okay, let me just turn the waiting room off. Give me a quick second here. And then everybody can join. Okay, good. Yeah, so 3 very important facts wherever you hear and see me talk. Number 1, everything I tell you, so today or any other time when you hear me talk or see social media content wherever, is that everything's based on my own experience, not one of these coaches who go and take other people's content, or they read 2-3 books and then they take the information, copy it one-to-one. Those are actually information deliverance. I am actually a coach. I've been doing this for a very long time, and it's all based on my own experience. Fact number 2, very important, is that everything I tell you in terms of data, facts, figures, numbers, and so on, this is actually scientifically proven. So it's not like I went up to a mountaintop and had some kind of epiphany and now I'm giving this information to you. This is actually scientifically proven. And it's also very important for me always to make sure you get immediately actionable items, immediately actionable content, and not just some blah blah. And and if you book 3 other courses with me or something, then you can maybe implement this. So this is something very, very important for me. And the third very important fact, all of what I tell you here is actually useless unless it gets put into practice. And you, my dear friends, are the ones who need to implement this. So within the next 72 hours, this is the maximum time our brain usually gives us to process and implement new information. Within the next 72 hours, you should try and start to implement what you're going to learn today. This doesn't apply just to my content. This is anyone's content, anything you hear and see from people, whether it's online, offline, and conversations, whatever. And whenever you have something new that comes to your mind, something new that enters your brain within the first 72 hours, that needs to be put into practice. So those are very important facts. So I hope you find this useful already. You can put in the chat box if you like. If this is good, you can put a thumbs up or yes. And I would also like you to tell me real quick, where are you dialing in from today? You can put your city or your country, just for me to have an idea. In case you're wondering, why does this guy keep looking sideways? I'm here. I have a control screen here where I see the chat. So when you see me sometimes looking sideways, that's because I'm reading here what you're putting in the messages, and if you put anything. So let's have a quick look at the chat here. Good content, Gary says. Thank you. STL, that's probably St. Louis in the US. Did I get that right? I think Gary told me some time ago he's from St. Louis, so maybe that's yes. Okay, yeah. So everyone who's in the call, you don't need to reveal your personal information. Just type real quick which city or country you're dialing in from. And if you find this useful so far, those 3 facts, or you can just put your country and your city, that's also fine. Yeah, maybe some of you not so fast with typing or you're shy, that's fine. Part of what we're going to discuss today also is going to take away shyness. So I think this will also help many of you. If you haven't done so already, please put the view here on Zoom on speaker view so that you see me in a big picture. And because I'm also going to share the sales cycle. Right now it's an empty cycle, but like I said, we're going to fill this with life in a moment, and then it's easier for you if you have the whole full picture, and you can look at each other later on or somewhere else, but today we want to talk about content. So I've already said this. What is sales actually about? Sales, please write this down. Sales is about getting your agenda through. It's important for you to have other people follow what you do. And please make sure you stay until the end today, because I have something for you later on that I want to offer you, which will then take you further in the next step. And it's not something I'm going to charge you for. It's not like, okay, let me talk for 1 hour and then you have to buy a program for $10,000. That's not how I work. So just stay until the end so you get the full picture of the full cycle. And then there's another little thing I want to give you, a little gift, so to say, another action step, so to say, after this. Yeah, makes sense. You can put a thumb up. You can use the reactions on Zoom if you like, or just type in the comments. I see a couple of people put their I don't see very well. That's why I have to go very close to the screen. So when I disappear, it's because I'm reading the chat messages. So I see here Dubai, Ruby Anna says Dubai, Farah says Dubai, Sylvie says Dubai. Hi, Sylvie. Yeah, awesome. Ishan is signing in from India. Hi, welcome to you. Hi to India. Okay, very good. So we have an international community. That's great. I'm actually based in Germany and in Dubai, so I'm kind of between places now in the process of fully moving to Dubai. But today is not about me, it's about content. So let's get started. So like I said, sales about getting your agenda through. And I have created sort of a system that is what I call the sales cycle, because what most people start with is the end of what I call the sales cycle, which is an offer and a close. I would actually make the claim that 99% of all people in sales are doing this the wrong way. They start with an offer and a close. This is the greatest product under the sun. This is what it does. These are the benefits. This is why it's going to help you, and so on. La 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 la. But they don't actually try to find out if the person they have in front of them is the right person. So I always like to say, bad salespeople, they talk a lot. Good salespeople ask a lot of questions. And that's what we're going to go through right now in the sales cycle, how to actually structure a conversation. And as the title of this webinar is, this is also a life skill. It's not only about business. So if you know how to master the sales cycle properly, you can actually talk yourself out of certain situations. I even managed to talk myself out of situations with the police. Now, not because I'm a criminal, but when I'm in Germany, I like to drive a little bit faster. We don't have a speed limit in this country, but there are certain areas on highways and certain parts where you actually have a speed limit. And then here in Germany, unfortunately, because we're used to no speed limit, we tend to drive a little bit too fast sometimes. And then sometimes you get stopped by the police, or you get a fine because you had a traffic camera record you and so on. So even those situations you can potentially talk yourself out of. What's also very important for you to understand in terms of sales, my dear friends, is that it's really important that you constantly keep moving and keep shifting your game. Just because you have clients today, or you have a big friend circle, you have people who purchase things from you, people who buy into your agenda, people who follow you, this is not a given. This doesn't mean that it's going to continue. We live in a very fast-paced world, and it's also very easy to destroy relationships with clients, with customers, and so on, even with patients. In case you are a doctor, I'll give you an example fresh from yesterday. Yesterday, I went to see my ophthalmologist. Is that how it's called? Let's keep it easy. Call them eye doctor. So yesterday, I went to my eye doctor. I've been going to this guy for a very long time. And yesterday, he was checking on some things with my eyes. And then, like I said, I don't see very well. But the outcome was basically that we need to adjust a couple of things in terms of, I need to take some eye drops and stuff. Don't want to bore you with the details, but he said something to me that immediately destroyed the relationship completely. I've been going to this doctor for a long time, like I said, but yesterday was the last time. I'll tell you what happened. I had some questions about the things he was telling me, and he said to me literally, don't speak now, no speaking now. I was like, what? I mean, okay, so even if you're right, even if you feel bothered, even if you feel that your customer is giving you too many questions, too many comments and so on, please don't shut your customers down. Don't ever talk to customers, clients, also people that you have around you. Don't talk to them like this. As I always like to say, if somebody has some questions about what you've just told them, well, very simple, you probably didn't explain it well. Maybe you need to think it from that perspective. Okay, good. I'm actually going to get started with the sales cycle. That's what we're here for. And just one quick thing. Let me see. Here I am. Over here in the little picture. That's why it's important that you put in the big picture so you can see the cycle and me. Hello. Very important. Like I said, please stay until the end. And also at the end, I'm going to open the microphone so you can ask questions. So if there's anything that you're struggling with in your sales game or in your agenda game, like I said, it's also about personal agenda. Write stuff down. If anything comes up now in terms of questions, write them down. Don't put your questions in the chat. I don't have the time to read the questions now. I'm focusing on delivering content to you. I hope you find this useful, good or good. You can put a thumb up if you agree. And we will look at the chat later on. So if you have questions, write them down on a piece of paper or type them in a phone or write them on your computer or wherever you want. But please stay committed, watch the content. And then also if you have questions now, potentially in the next sentence or in the next phase of the sales cycle, maybe the answers, the questions will already answer themselves. So let's talk go through the questions later on. If you still have questions at the end, I promise I will answer every question. I'm not going to end the session today until every question is answered. This is my commitment to you, and that's how I operate. So let me show you how we proceed in terms of sales cycle. I see a couple more people have joined. That's great. Welcome to all of you. And if you're mute now, that's because I have muted you, and later on we will take your questions. So the way this works is the sales cycle has certain phases. What you should start with is what I call a people analysis. I'm just going to write this here. Now, just come back here real quick. In case you cannot read my handwriting, I'm sorry, I'm a speaker, not a writer. But if you pay attention, I also say everything I'm going to write down. So you should be able to, comprehend everything I explained to you. So people analysis is the first thing. And then this is like a first phase. I'm just going to draw a little line here. You might wonder, why is this line not straight and so on? These lines are fluid. You will see later on, we have different components which come here. And sometimes you have to go back to certain phases. Yeah, so that's why the lines here are fluid and not a straight line. So people analysis, what does that mean? Well, very simple, my dear friends. Like I said, before you start with an offer and a close, you offer your product, you offer your solution, your suggestion. Let's say if you, I don't know how old you guys are, most people here are a little bit younger than me, I think. I'm in my early 40s. Maybe some of you are older, doesn't matter also, but young people, for example. And if you are a young person and you still need agreement from your parents on certain things, you can use this stuff as well. Yeah. So sometimes I speak at schools and then they're always like little, what can I use this for? Not so interesting. Then I give them an example. So if, for example, you want to go to a party on Saturday night and your parents say you have to be home at 10 or something, but you want to be home at midnight or 1 in the morning, depending, of course, how old you are, then you can use the sales cycle in order to get your agenda through that you would like to stay out longer. Yeah, and there's a couple of magic questions. I will also give you today 4 magic questions or 4 magic sentences, which you can apply throughout the entire sales cycle, where you potentially get, in most cases, a buy-in from the person that you're talking to. So again, don't put it too much into the business context. It also is about personal context. So people analysis means, first of all, you need to ask the person who's this person, what do they do? This is more of business related, I would say, because if you have personal conversations, if you want to apply the sales cycle to your personal life, then this is typically a conversation with people that you already know. But from a business perspective, if we're talking about clients, prospects, if you don't know what the prospect is, a prospect is somebody you would like to make a client, but the person hasn't become a client yet. This is very important. You need to know, who are they? What do they do? What are they looking for also? Is your product or your service actually a solution? Don't do what I said 99% of all salespeople do. They just operate on the principle of let's throw some mud on the wall and see what sticks. This doesn't work. Maybe this worked in the 80s, I don't know. But in today's world, this doesn't work anymore. Everybody wants to sell something. We get so many sales messages every day, everywhere, online, on the radio, on the television, when you sit in your car, if you read a magazine, if you read a newspaper, if you look at online content. I mean, there is so much ads coming your way. You really have to be part of the other 1% in order to really become successful. When I speak of success, my dear friends, I mean ultra successful. I want you to become ultra successful. I don't want you to become mediocre kind of success. This is very often not sustainable. Yeah, so be different than the other 99%. So really find out who you're talking to. What kind of goals do they have? What kind of dreams? What kind of plans? What would they like to achieve? Are they having trouble with their business today? Are they having trouble with their staff? Is their sales team maybe not working the right way? In case you're selling to a company, is the person having issues that are maybe not product or service related? Do they have problems with relationships with existing vendors? Maybe they want to replace a vendor and you could be the replacement. So really find out, ask a lot of questions. Doesn't mean that you have to interrogate the person for 2 hours. That's not the idea. But really find out, also make notes and establish trust. If you establish trust, you're already halfway there. Very, very easy way to establish trust. What you can do is when you sit down with a person, you have a conversation, you take out a piece of paper and a pen, you start writing a couple of words and you say, excuse me, if it's okay, I would like to take some notes. So later on, I know exactly what you're looking for. Is that okay? Yeah, so this is how you establish trust, because people will be like, oh, wow, okay, this guy or this girl is even asking me if he or she can take notes. That's really something. A lot of people don't do this. It's the little things that make the difference. Yeah, so please really do a proper people and person analysis and or business analysis if it's a business conversation. Really find out what it's all about. That's the people or the business analysis. Gary is saying here, so good. Thank you very much. I hope everyone feels that way. We will see later. The proof is in the pudding. So what you need to do next, and this again is something that pretty much everyone leaves out, is what I call a pain analysis. Again, fluid border, yeah. Pain analysis. What kind of pain does this person and or business have? A lot of salespeople do this completely the wrong way. They don't even ask. They don't try to find out what kind of issues do they have, what kind of pain is there. Here's my product, here's my service, you should buy it because X, Y, Z, and it's the greatest thing under the sun. Don't do that. This is not how effective sales works. Find out what kind of pain they have. By the way, quick question for you. How many of you are in sales? Can you just put in the chat box a yes or a no if you are in sales? Just put this back up for a moment so you can write this down if you haven't done so. Put in the sales in the sales box, yeah, in the chat box. Put there if you are in sales, yes or no. Would be really happy if everybody could do that. Are you in sales? Okay, I'm glad somebody said no. Faraz, oh Faraz, hi, it says, I think I know which Faraz this is. Hello to you. Financial solutions and bracket sales. Ruby is saying no, Ishan is saying no. Sylvie, have you made a comment yet? No, okay. I'm very, very happy that some of you said no. Wrong answer. Everybody's in sales. And I'll tell you why. If you have kids and you want them to brush their teeth in the evening, you need to be good in sales. You are in sales. If you are single, you're looking for the right man or woman for you in your life, you are in sales. You need to sell another person, somebody you're interested in, that you are the right partner for a lifetime and they should enter into a relationship with you. That you are in sales. Everybody's in sales. This is why I said sales is so important. It's an absolute important skill to master, and I'm glad you're here. And those of you who are watching this in the replay, you should have been here too, but you can watch the replay. Anyway, the benefit of being here live is that you are able to answer questions. I think my camera just went off. Let me restart it. Are we back? Yes. This one's working. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, technology. Everybody's in sales. It's really important that you get this in your head. Really critical to understand that this is something that everybody is involved in. I know why the camera keeps going off, but we'll find out maybe. Yeah, Is it back? Okay, let's hope it stays. If not, I will switch it. So that's really important. Everybody's in sales. So when it comes to pain analysis, very important point. I'm sorry about this. I don't know why it's doing it. Let me just unplug the camera real quick and reconnect it. Yeah, I'm actually going to start going back to live events very soon. So end of May, I'm going to do a live event in Dubai. Then we don't have this camera stuff anymore. I see Mohammed has a question. Mohammed will look at the questions later on. Otherwise, just write it down or remind me when we do Q&A that you had put a question in the chat. So what is pain analysis? Pain analysis is all about finding out, please make sure you write this down, take lots of notes, very important. You're not going to be able to remember everything. Pain is about, yeah, what kind of issues do they have? What is not working today? How is it not working? Why is it not working? Again, business and personal life, you can apply this in both cases. I'll give you an example from business. Some years ago, I was operating a hotel and I made the pain point actually part of my sales procedure, part of my sales process in order to attract more customers, or as we call them in hotel business, more guests. Give you an example, other hotels in my vicinity of the city where the hotel was being operated, they didn't have a parking garage, but my hotel had a parking garage. They had better occupancy. I wanted better occupancy. Occupancy means how many rooms are sold, yeah? So what did I do? I knew that this was a pain point because I knew guests' cars were getting broken into, people were getting damages on their cars. And if you have a car for a certain value, and even if it's a low value, usually when you own a car, you feel a little bit of an attachment to your car, yeah? And you always feel a little fishy when you have to leave your car somewhere and you go to a hotel, you can't see your car. And these are all little pain points. So what I did is I reached out to the companies that were staying at other hotels. Of course, you have to do some analysis. You have to know who is your competitor, what kind of product or service do they offer, how do they offer it, what is the price points, and so on. This is part of business analysis. And I got to know, figured out and found out who are these companies and these guests that are staying at the other hotels. And then I reached out to them. So I went to companies, I called them. Again, getting through to the decision maker, that's another procedure that's part of sales. And talk to them and then ask them like, what kind of issues do they have? You know, I already knew that this parking problem was something. And then I analyzed that and asked them, like, what about parking? Do you have any issues with this? You know, this is just one example. Try to find the pain points. What kind of issues are there? Why are certain things not working? And again, you can also apply this to your personal life. If you want to get into into a relationship, let's say you have met a nice guy or a nice girl that you want to get into a relationship with, same principle. You find out the pain points. So what kind of issues did you have in your previous relationships? What made you single? Why are you still single? What are the reasons that the previous relationship didn't work out? These are pain points. This is very, very effective. You will find out what kind of pain there was, and then of course you need to solve that pain. If you can solve the pain, then you have a very high potential of getting this client, getting the business, getting the relationship, whatever it is. You can apply this to anything in life. So this is very, very important that we understand that pain analysis needs to be done. So now comes kind of the discipline that, again, almost no one does. Let me just quickly come back here, because some salespeople, they do this. Let me actually switch that over. Yeah, maybe I have too much technology. That's why the camera keeps failing. So these things here, where is it here, right? Yeah, these things here, some salespeople do, but the next one I'm going to show you, almost no one does. And that's why the 1% who does this properly, the 1% of sales people, or people who know how to apply sales to life and business, they do this and they succeed. And I'll tell you how this works. So the next step is called pain strengthening. Pain strengthening. Again, fluid line. So what is this? Give me a quick second here. Just need to take a sip of water, 1 second. You can already make notes here, and I'll give you more content in a second. Okay, good. Are we back? Yes. Okay, so pain strengthening. What that's all about, and this is, I'll give you an example again in a moment. This is what a lot of people don't do. They maybe find out the pain points, but they don't make it stronger. So pain strengthening is all about making the pain stronger. Not because we are mean people, we want to put people down, we want to give them a hard time, destroy their life and so on. This is not what this is about. Pain strengthening, my friends, is about getting the person who you're sitting across from the table or that you're having a conversation with, that they understand in their brain that this pain that they have, which you have just found out in the pain analysis, that this pain, please make sure you write this down, if it doesn't get resolved, it only gets stronger. Pain that doesn't get resolved only gets stronger. Now, some people say pain is temporary. Yeah, that is true. When it comes to physical pain and you have the feeling, oh, I can't go on anymore, I'm tired, you know, I'm finished and so on, this is something where I agree pain is temporary. But when it comes to the business procedure, the sales process, the sales cycle, it's very important that we understand what the pain is and we need to make it stronger. So you need to paint a picture in the head of your potential prospect client, the person you're talking to. And of course, by the way, just to be clear, this whole procedure can also be applied to existing customers, because if you have a client or a customer already and you maybe want to offer them something additional, again, always under ethical background, yeah, if you want to offer them something additional, something better, upgrade them to a different service and so on, this whole process you have to go again. Please don't be under the impression that if you have a client already today, they're going to buy anything from you. This is not how it works. Yeah, I just gave you the example with my doctor. That doctor is never going to see me ever again. Because competition is big. If you live in a country or in a city where there's no competition, then maybe this is a little bit different. I live now in the place I have in Germany is in a very teeny tiny village in the Bavarian mountains. There is one restaurant, my dear friends, one restaurant in comparison to Dubai, where we have 12,000 F&B outlets. There's one restaurant here where you can order takeout food, and they've messed up orders in the past, but yeah, what am I going to do? Of course, I keep going there. They have kind of a monopoly. So if you have a monopoly position in your business, great for you. Then maybe it's not so difficult for you to sell your product or service. But in most cases, this is not how it is. So pain analysis is really about painting a picture in the person's head. How is it going to be if this pain doesn't get resolved? I'll go back to this example with the parking. So the potential clients who told me that they have issues with parking at other hotels, then I was like, yeah, okay, oh, then you can say stuff, oh yeah, you know, you can show some compassion. I totally understand. I would also worry. And yeah, I mean, what if, you know, maybe one day your CEO comes to this hotel and his car gets damaged, somebody smashes in the window, he has an appointment he needs to drive to the next day and he can't go, or even worse, CEO, you know, is one thing, but maybe your sales team has an important fair they need to go to the next day, an exhibition, somebody smashed in the window of their car or multiple cars and they can't go, they need to get the window fixed, this needs time and so on, they can't go to the exhibition, or they have to take a taxi and drive 400 kilometers to get to the exhibition and so on. All these things, yeah, it's always, of course, individual basis. We will take some questions and answers later on and you can tell me what kind of issues you have had in the past, but there's a million examples, yeah, but whatever the pain is, try to make it stronger. I think there's a connection problem here. I don't know. Sorry, guys. Okay. It just fails without no particular reason. Anyway, so a very little small important lesson here on the side about public speaking. No excuses. Don't worry about the problems. Focus on the solution. So when the camera goes off, just keep going. But I need to fix it. I need you to see me. Obviously, I think it's better. So and most important, I need you to see this. This is more important than me. Yeah. So pain strengthening, my friends. This is all about what you pick up in this area. Here, you make it stronger. Make it stronger and really, really help them understand that if the pain does not get resolved, then it's only going to get worse. That's like one of the key points. And I cannot give you an example for every situation because it depends on the situation. But if you do this here, if you do this the right way, then the pain strengthening will be easy because you know what kind of problems there are. Okay, makes sense? Are you guys still with me? Can you put a thumb up or a thumb down in the chat or on the reactions on Zoom if this makes sense, if you find this useful? I see a couple of thumbs, that's good. Not everybody puts a thumb up, okay. That's just how it is. Yeah, useful, okay, good. We have a good retention rate here. I see most of you are still on who have dialed in. This is always a good sign. Okay, then we're ready to go to the next phase. And this is then very important. I'll put this in a different color. What is known as a test buy. Maybe you've heard this word before. The test buy, my friends, is important because here you find out if the product or service that you're offering, the solution that you're about to offer, you haven't offered the solution yet, yeah? If you're paying attention and if you're with me, you realize that all of this here, we haven't spoken a word yet about offering your service or your product. And that's why this is so effective. People are tired. Let me just come back here. People are very tired, whether it's personal stuff, business stuff, of people always wanting to sell them something. A good salesperson, a good sales procedure doesn't feel salesy, doesn't feel pushy. We don't want to push a product or service, our agenda, our ideas, our thoughts. We don't want to push that. We want to pull. This is attraction marketing, attraction sales. We want to attract people to us that they say, Matt, can I please buy this? Okay. this is what it's about. Okay. So this phase here, the test buy, is where you find out is if what you're about to offer and close is going to come here, if this is a solution. So the way you can formulate this, how you can phrase that, is that you say, okay, Mr. Customer, I understand that this and that is causing an issue today, and you are looking to fix this and that and have a better this and have a better that and so on. If I offer you today a product or service that can help you fix these issues, that can help you make you feel better, that can fix your problems and so on, whatever the topic is, would this be then something you would be interested in? Would this be something worth considering? This kind of stuff, yeah? Phrase this in a certain way. Use your own words, but build it up in such way. If I do this and that, if I offer this and that, if I suggest a solution, this and that, would that, will that, can that help you fix, solve, dismantle the issue, fix the pain, and so on. Yeah. So whatever you got in terms of information in the people analysis and the pain analysis, this is why this is so critical, my friends. Yeah, this is why it's so important to collect all this information and get all this information and get your prospect, your client, your friend, your person in front of you talking, so that you can actually then find out what they're looking for. This is so much more effective versus here's my product, here's my service, you need to do this. I gave this example in a conversation recently in a previous talk. I don't know if you saw that, doesn't matter, but another example from my past. I was actually in the hotel business for a very long time, and then out of this hotel business developed my passion for coaching. I've opened hotels all over the world. I've lived and worked in more than 35 countries, and out of this came my passion for coaching. So I've been a coach for 16 years now, and I wanted to do a big celebration last year for 15 years, but guess what? The COVID madness destroyed everything. Anyway, we're going to celebrate this year. So yeah, so I was in excuse me, I was operating a hotel, and one day somebody called me and they said, hey, you know, we have a great product, a great service. Yeah, it's an automatic pool cleaner, and you don't have to use this liquid and this chemical and so on, and la 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 la. And kept talking for 5 minutes, offering me his product and his service, the pool cleaning, and having a good water climate in the pool. I don't know much about pools, but apparently there's certain things you need to put into a pool, some chemicals or whatever, in order for you to actually not die if you go in the pool. So yeah, great stuff, great product probably, but I'll let you on a little secret, my dear friends. My hotel didn't actually have a pool. Okay, so what's the point? Why is this guy telling me? This is bad analysis. No people analysis, no business analysis, no pain analysis, nothing. Straight offer and wanting me to close me. I'm not going to buy anything from you that's pool related if I don't own a pool. It's that simple. So there's a million examples like this. It's really important, this whole test buy principle, and just go back here again, yeah? Test buy can only happen if you have done this properly. Now, again, about these fluid lines that you see here. Like I said before, they are fluid because sometimes you have to jump back. So if you come, for example, to a test buy and the person says, yeah, but yeah, this, I don't know if this product is going to work for me. I don't know if this is, if it's going to fix the pain. Then you didn't do your pain analysis job properly. Then you need to go back. Okay, Mr. Customer, let's take a quick step back. So you said this and that problem exists because of, and so on. Don't give up easily. Yeah, a lot of people give up too soon in sales. They give up too soon. When the test buy ends negative, yeah, okay, thank you, goodbye. I'm sorry, blah, blah. Yeah, this is how you waste your time, your energy and resources, money. Don't do that. So if this is somebody that you believe you're going to be able to offer something to, whether it's personal or business related, that will help them solve the issue, cure the pain, and so on, don't give up easily. So if the test buy didn't work properly, like I said, maybe you have to jump back to pain analysis, find out again, okay, let me ask you again. So if this and that problem persists, how are you currently solving it? How are you planning to solve it, and so on? People then typically don't know. Then, okay, they realize, okay, yeah, maybe this works. Maybe this test buy makes sense. Of course, they don't know that this is a test buy, but you know. So then you go back to the test buy again. You say, okay, so if I just understood you correctly, then we need to offer you this and that to fix this problem, that problem. Yeah. So don't give up too easily. Very, very important. Test buy, super critical. So, and now comes what most people in sales start with, the offer and the close. Offer and close. This is what 99% of salespeople start with, or anybody who wants to sell, offer, suggest, whatever, to fix a problem. Offer and close. And you see how much work we've done already. Yeah. Again, also very important, my friends. All of this, the stuff here, this way. Or we have to think sideways. So all of this stuff here doesn't mean that you have to have 3-hour conversations with every prospect. You can cut this down, yeah? And start to practice this, start to learn it. Over time, you know what to ask, what to say, what kind of responses to expect. If you always sell the same product or service, you probably know already what kind of issues people have, what kind of problems it can fix. You probably know what kind of answers they will give you if you ask about pain points and so on. So do not worry, this is not a 3-hour conversation every time, but really offer and close needs to come here, yeah? And this you also need to do in a certain way, that you make an offer. You say, okay, based on what you have told me, based on what we have discussed, based on the great conversation we just had, say stuff like this. Also very important, try to laugh with your client, with your prospect. You know, humor helps. If you make a little joke, don't do dirty, stupid jokes, of course, unless the situation allows. Depends what kind of person sitting across the table from you, yeah? But really try to be, you know, you don't need to be a comedian, but like, you know, a bit of, yeah, just try to levitate the situation a little bit. Be nice, be funny. There's this movie with Robert De Niro, maybe you've seen this. It's called Analyze This. It's already a couple of years old. There's a scene, he's he's a mafia boss. And yeah, he wants to get out of the mafia game because it's taking a toll on his psychology and so on, and his aggression, and he has like this anger inside him and so on. So he tries out some jobs where he could potentially work in. And there's one scene, you can look this up later on YouTube, where he tries to be a car salesman. So this is a bit of an extreme example, but it's just a small example in terms of making people laugh, yeah, or giving people like a bit of a moment, oh wow, you know. So he shows a car to a couple, and he opens the trunk and he says, look at the size of that trunk, you can put 3 buddies in there. Yeah, so this, it of course has to do with his previous job or his previous work, the field he was in. But this kind of stuff, be funny, make you know, make the conversation easy flowing. A lot of salespeople are very bad at this. They're not able, they don't know how to make a conversation easy flowing, because all they're after is business, business, business. They want to close absolutely everybody. I have one very important secret for you. Not everyone you talk to is closable, but you should be closing the people who are closable. That's what you should do. But this doesn't mean that every single person you talk to is going to buy your product, your service, buy into your idea, go along with your agenda. This is not how life functions. But if you do the sales cycle properly, then you should be able to close more people. So offer and close is really about, so based on our conversation, our talk, the things you have told me, I think I have the perfect solution for you. So this is what we do. And then you explain your product and your service. Yeah, but here, very, very important in this section here, this is also where a lot of people lose business. Offer and close. Do not bombard your prospect, potential client, person you're talking to with, you know, 6 million facts, figures, data. try to close business on an emotional level. Yeah, it depends a little bit what you're offering. It depends a little bit what the topic is. But if you get in the emotional level with a person, they just need to understand and realize whatever it is that you're offering them, this solves their problems. This is what you need to get across. But this doesn't mean that you have to tell them, like, you know, every little detail, every single fact. I know some people who are network marketing. A lot of people think this is a horrible business. It's actually a great business. People just do it wrong. So a lot of people are in this business, just come back, and what they sell is health products. So they tell the person every single little detail. This is the aloe vera drink, and it cures this and that, and it can solve that problem, and so on. And this is how it's made. And did you know aloe vera is farmed in Mexico, and the leaves are cut there, and then they slice the leaf open, they take the fillet out, and then they process. Nobody wants to know this. Try to, in very simple words, I love simplicity, and people love simplicity in general. People also don't have time to listen to you forever. Keep things short, nice, crisp, and really explain to them why and how this product or service that you're offering, this idea, this agenda item of yours, how it's going to solve their problem, why it's the right thing, and that's what you need to do. It's very simple. That's actually what you need to do. And of course, a matter of practice, but do not start with offer and close. And then comes what I call the Champions League, the Champions League of sales. And maybe you already know, if you've heard me talk before, objection handling. Again, sorry, I'm a speaker, not a writer, but I think you can read this. Objection handling. The Champions League of sales. And this, my dear friends, completes the sales cycle. You have a full circle here. I'll explain this in a moment. People analysis, followed by pain analysis. Pain strengthening, make that pain stronger, paint a picture. Do a test buy. If we do this, that, and the other, this is how it could solve your problem. Does this sound like an idea? Does this sound like something that's going to work for you? You make an offer and try to close the person. And then comes objection handling. In most cases, I would say probably more than 90% of the time, people have objections. Welcome to life. This is how it works. It's not like you offer your product or your service. Even if you've done all of what I've just explained to you, if you do all of this, you explain all these things here, this way. I'm going to learn this way. Even if you do all of this, you go through all the steps that I've just explained to you, guess what? Your offer and your close doesn't always succeed. People still have objections. Typical objection. Oh, yeah, you know, I don't know about the price. Price conversations. Don't get into big price discussions. Yeah, if somebody says to you, for example, you know, yeah, Matt, this sounds really interesting and stuff and so on, but I think this is yeah, pretty expensive. Very important. There's a difference between expensive and too expensive. Yeah, make sure you understand the difference. If somebody says, I think this is too expensive, then you can say, okay, dear Mr. Customer, but if I understood you correctly, you would really like to have the product. Did I get that right? Because if somebody now wants to talk to you about the price, obviously they're interested. This is also very important, objection handling. Please make sure you write this down also. I hope you're taking lots of notes. There's a difference between an objection, an excuse, and a buying signal. So if somebody says, yeah, you know, I need to ask my wife, my friend, my business partner, the tooth fairy, whoever, is this really an objection or is this an excuse? Is the person trying to get away from you because they don't want to buy your product? Or is this really an objection? Do they really have to have this conversation with somebody else? Very important little hack I have for you. If there's potential for this to happen, what you can do is you can avoid this already when you make an appointment with somebody. You can ask them, this is not part of the sales cycle, actually, this is part of appointment scheduling, but I'll give it to you anyway because you might need this. When you try to make an appointment, let's say you have some business conversation with somebody, you want to offer them a product or a service, some company maybe that you're going to talk to, ask them when you schedule the appointment, okay, Mr. Customer, tell me who would you like to bring with you to the appointment so I can send this person an invitation as well. Totally different, right? Versus, okay, this is the appointment, we meet this and then, see you then, bye-bye. Yeah, so because if you do that, then you have already kind of dismantled that objection, because either now this person is there in the conversation and your prospect, your potential customer, the person you're talking to, cannot say anymore, I need to go and talk to my business partner. Well, the business partner is maybe there, because in the scheduling process, you already made sure that the person is there. Yeah, so be smart, be street smart in that regard. And now if they say, yeah, but I need to discuss this with my business partner, well, okay, I have a great idea. You're both here. Let me go to the bathroom real quick. I also need to make 2 phone calls. When I come back, we can have a conversation. In the meantime, you can have a discussion. Yeah, so don't let people shut you down with their objections. So again, if it's about having to talk to some other person, try to avoid this already by knowing in advance that this could potentially happen. So make sure whoever is the co-decision maker is also there. Very, very, very important step. Very little hack, but it works wonders. Then, yeah, this whole price conversation. So that somebody says, you know, I think this is really, really expensive. So first of all, give them some credit. What a lot of people do wrong in terms of conversations and objection handling, what I mean by give them some credit, I will explain in a moment. What a lot of people do wrong is when an objection comes up, they get into a discussion mode. They want to argue back and forth. Really, you think this is expensive, but it does this, that, and the other. It's the greatest product. We won 6 million awards, and we do this, and all our customers are satisfied. 9 out of 10 customers are happy with this product. This is discussion. This is not objection handling. Objection handling is if somebody says, you know, I think this is really expensive. Okay, I understand that it has a certain price, but I think you're really interested in the product. Is that right? And always try to nod a little bit. If you nod a little bit and you smile, it goes a long way. A small smile can go a long way. So try to really capture it this way, and make sure you understand the difference between expensive, too expensive, and so on. If something is too expensive, you can say, okay, you know, or if somebody says, for example, yeah, can we do something about the price? It's very, very typical in Dubai. Can I get a discount? Can we do this? You can have the cheapest product under the sun. People will still ask for a discount. So if somebody says, oh, you know, can I have a discount? Maybe is there something we can do about the price? You can say, yeah, sure. If you can tell me which part of the offer you would like me to remove, I can offer you a different price. Don't dilute your product or your service. Yeah, don't jump on the discount train. Yeah, if your knowledge ain't paramount, you're gonna need a discount. But if you know what you're doing, then you shouldn't go on the discount train. Please don't ride the discount train. Don't dilute your product or service. You can then offer that you take something out of the offer, depending what it is that you're offering, and then there's a different price. This is what you can do. Yeah, so there's lots of ways how you can handle this, how you can deal with objections. Please handle them. Do not get into arguments and discussions. That's not how objection handling works. Yeah, or if somebody says, I don't know if I'm going to have the time and so on. Yeah, then don't argue. Let's say you want to maybe bring a freelancer on board in your company and it's commission based. You really want this person, but this person is like, you know, they found it in the conversation now. It's going to be commission basis. They don't know if they're going to earn money. They would say, you know, I'm not sure if I have the time for this. Then don't argue with them. Oh, but you know, Jimmy, John, Mary, whatever, it's only going to take you 2 hours per week and this and that. And this is an argument again. Handle the objection. Objection handling means you take the objection and you turn it around. So what you can say in this case, for example, you don't say, it doesn't take very long and so on, la, la, la. You can say, okay, I understand. How much time do you think you will need? This is also something a lot of people have completely wrong understanding of whatever it is. Also, if somebody says, you know, your product, your service, in the long run, the maintenance fees are so high. Okay, what kind of maintenance level do you think is needed for this product? What kind of funding does it need per month? Maybe somebody has a completely wrong understanding of what it is that you're offering. So these things you need to clarify. This is what objection handling is for, and it's very important, very critical, and I highly recommend you to handle these objections properly. Yeah, so I don't have time, it's expensive, I don't know, and so on. Another very typical, objection. I don't know if this is the right thing for you, for me, excuse me. Then you can go back to what you did in the pain analysis. If you did a wrong pain analysis or you offered the product or the service to the wrong person, then maybe this is the reason why they're saying this. But you could say now, okay, but you told me this and that, but be careful, don't get into an argument. What part of my offer makes you think that this is not the right thing for you? Yeah, ask open questions. No, open questions are questions that cannot be answered with yes or no. Yeah, so, or if somebody says, this is a lot of money, it costs a lot. Again, price topic is a big topic. Okay, Mr. Customer, let's take the price for a moment and throw it overboard and have a conversation about the benefits. Yeah, so this is what is called speaking in pictures, a picturesque language, kind of picturesque lingual. Let's take the price and throw it overboard for a moment. Yeah, this is like people in their mind, they see then a boat and the price is being thrown overboard, so it's out of the way. There's a lot of little little tips and tricks, little hacks how you can do that, and this is very important. Yeah, and then final piece, actually this is actually not part of it's not like an additional thing on top here. It's actually part of the offer and close. Yeah, if this goes right, you don't need this, but this is unrealistic. Most of the time, offer and close is followed by objection handling. When you have done this, either you're lucky and the client immediately buys what you're offering, immediately signs the contract or whatever, or you have to come back here. In most of the case, you have to come back here. So you handle the objection, and when you have handled it, then you go back into offer and close mode. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's go back to this price topic. Yeah, you know, I think this is pretty expensive. Can we do something about the price? Yeah, okay, so which part of the offer would you like me to remove in order for me to be able to offer you a better deal? So now maybe the customer jumps or the client jumps onto this and says, yeah, you know, actually, this bi-weekly support call. If I talk about myself, if I offer a coaching course, for example, somebody says, yeah, you know, these 2 support calls after a course, I don't think I need that. Okay, we can remove that, and then the price is this and that. How is that a better offer for you? Yeah, I'd actually, yeah, the support I don't need. So yeah, okay, then the price is this and that. And now I need to come back to offer and close. Okay, well, I think we found the right product for you, the right product, the right service. Would you like to pay this in cash or by card? Try to close. Closing means that you ask for the business. Ask for the business. A lot of salespeople, a lot of people who own businesses, who run businesses, who work at a business, they don't ask for the close. You cannot wait and can't expect your customer to say, okay, here's my card, please charge it. It doesn't work that way. Maybe sometimes it does, but very rarely. Yeah, so make an offer, try to close them, objection handling, then you come back to the closing. So would you like to pay this in cash? Shall we deliver this, or would you like to pick it up? Always, when you do your offer, when you attempt to close a potential contract, when you want to win somebody's agreement, when you want to get your agenda through, try to make a closing offer with either or. And either or doesn't mean buy or not buy. Offer either or means, would you buy this or that? That's how you should put your offer together. Don't say, oh, okay. And then what you should also get away from, what people like to do a lot, I'm going to be done in a minute and then we go into Q&A. What people like to do a lot when you offer them something, typical, I think it's probably the #1 objection. I need to think about this. And then what a lot of people do wrong, they say, okay, I understand. I will call you next week, then we can have a conversation. Good luck. If this works out for you, please continue. I don't know one single person where this is working well. Try not to let the person get away, because you have something that is helping them, something that solves their problems, something that solves their pain, cures their pain. This is not the idea of a sales conversation that you have to talk 3, 4, 5 times in order to close somebody. Close everything who's closable. If it's something that what you're offering that helps solve the problem. Yeah. So if somebody says, oh yeah, you know, maybe you can call me next week. Yeah, it depends a little bit how the conversation went, but you can say, no, I'm not going to do that. We have just discussed everything. Please tell me, what is it that is keeping you from us shaking hands and getting into a business relationship that will be fruitful for all involved parties? Yeah, try to be a little bit smart. This is how it works. Okay, so I hope you find this useful. Have a look again. I'm gonna open the floor in a moment for questions, and then we will take it from there. If you want, you can take a screenshot if you like, or take a picture with your phone, up to you. If you want me in the picture. So yeah, this is how it works. Okay, I'm gonna go to the chat now. So you should start from the top. I start from the bottom. Ruby says, thanks for good content. You're very welcome. I hope you find it useful. So let me go through here real quick. So let's start. Mohammed wrote a question actually to me, so you can't see it in the chat, but I'll read it out. I hope that's okay for you, Mohammed. I have a question, Matt. What courses should I take to become a better salesperson? Well, let's see. Now I can apply my own strategy. If you like, you can raise your hand. There's a reaction, or you can put in the chat if you want to say something. Then I will unmute you. So, what is the best sale? What was it? The best? What courses should I take to become a better salesperson? Well, Mohammed, what is your definition of a better salesperson? Different type of conversation. This is what I've just explained to you. Yeah, I could say to Mohammed now, Mohammed, you know, I have a sales course. It's the greatest thing I understand. I do have a sales course, of course. I'm a sales professional. I'm a sales coach. Of course, I have a sales program. I mean, this would be stupid if I didn't. But instead of saying, Mohammed, this is my course. It's the best thing I understand. It only costs this, that much, that little. You will learn this, that, and the other. And why don't you buy it? No. I start with a question. I just initiated the sales cycle with Mohammed. I hope you don't mind me taking this as an example. Sorry, I apologize if you do, but I'm always happy to have a separate conversation. It's probably not here for the group, probably not so interesting, but yeah, what is your definition of a better salesperson? What would you like to achieve? Pain question, pain analysis. What are you struggling with today in your sales process? What would you like to be better at? In an ideal scenario, what would your sales game look like? This is how you do it. And this is not casted or something. I don't know Mohammed, actually. No, I don't think so. It doesn't say a last name here. I know a couple of Mohammeds, but I don't know if I know this Mohammed. Anyway, this is how you do it. Mohammed, if you want to have a conversation, feel free. You can message me separately. I will put my my link tree here in a moment. You can schedule a call with me or send me a message on Instagram, on LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever. Go to my YouTube channel. YouTube, you can send me messages, but I will send this in a moment. Let's see what else we have here. Faraz, no worries of camera. Your content are excellent. Thank you, Faraz, but I would still want you to see me. And like I said, most importantly, I would like you to see this. That's why we need a camera, right? That makes sense, I think. Okay, Mohammed, again, very good material and explanation. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the positive comments. Really, really happy for that. Rakesh put a thumb up. Good. Soman, hope I pronounced it correctly. Very interesting class, dear Matt. Really worth listening to. I have to attend another meeting at 8. So he or she left. Thank you anyway. Hi, Matt. Mohammed again. Great material. I want to ask you what types of courses. Yeah, okay. This is enhance my abilities as a salesperson. This is a question from before. What courses would you recommend? Yeah, obviously mine, but we can have a conversation. Thanks for good content. Gary McNeely, good stuff. Gotta go. That's fine. Ruby is saying how to handle an argumentative person like in a meeting. Yeah, we'll come to this in a moment. Rakesh is saying, hi, Matt, it was worth listening to. Some good points from today. Applicable on day-to-day sales pitches. Yeah, that's the idea. I want to give you guys, like I said, immediately actionable items. So the things you have learned today, you can put this into practice tomorrow. And please don't expect too much of yourself. You're not going to be able, most probably, in tomorrow's next sales conversation or whenever the next conversation takes place. Ideally, like I said, within the next 3 days, you should implement what you have just learned within the next 72 hours after watching this, after having been part of this, whether it's live or in a replay. Put this into practice. You're not going to be able to master this a full 100%, most probably not. But if you apply the sales game, if you apply out of all of this, at least 30–40%, I guarantee you, your sales are already going to go up. I have clients, they apply only 10% of this because they have no idea how to do sales. They apply only 10% and they do it in the wrong way. You know, first they ask about the pain, then they start with people analysis. They do a test buy way too early, but still the person that they're talking to, they realize, oh, wow, this guy or this girl really knows what they're talking about. And this is so different. People will notice that things are different because of the way you do it. I still owe you the 4 sentences, by the way, the 4 magic sentences. I'll do this in a moment. But people realize that, you know, if you do things differently, they know, because they know how other people approach them. And if you just, yeah, like I said, 30–40% of this in the next days, in the next 72 hours, you will already see different results. People will actually like to have more conversations with you. People would be interested in your product and your service. If you cannot close everyone who's closable immediately, do not worry. This is a process. Whenever you learn new things, it's a procedure, something you need to learn over time. But the more often you practice it, the more often you do it, then the more easy it becomes to apply it and to be ultra successful with this. I want you to be ultra successful. That's my wish and my goal. Rakesh is saying, hi, Matt. It was worth listening to. Good points from this I read already. Sorry. Faraz is saying, step 1, people analysis, how I categorize them in short span. So to deal with them accordingly. I'll come to this in a moment. I just go back to the question here from Ruby. Okay, so it was how to handle an argumentative person like in a meeting. Ruby, would you like to unmute yourself? Would you like to? I will send you an unmute pop-up. You can unmute if you want. We can have a conversation. Otherwise, I will just say it, what my thoughts are. Let's see. Don't be shy. If you want to succeed in sales, my dear friends, don't be shy. It's important. Yeah, people, you need to talk. You need to be the talkative part. You need to be the person who takes the lead. Like I said, you have to ask a lot of questions. Let the client or the prospect talk, but still you have to talk. So yeah. Anyway, maybe she doesn't want to now. That's fine. So argumentative person. Yeah. Well. We have like the saying in German, for example, take the wind out of somebody's sail. So if you build up the sales conversation the right way, they will probably not be so argumentative to begin with. I don't know how you do your sales game today. I don't know what you do in life and or business, but people are very argumentative and confrontational, usually because they are used to very nerve-wracking, annoying salespeople. Who only want to sell them something. They have no interest whatsoever in their well-being, whether it's business or personal. And that's why people are argumentative. And yeah, that's one of the reasons. However, try to make your client feel good, or the prospect or the person you're talking to. Like I said before, try to laugh, try to be funny. Don't turn into a comedian. Don't be a clown. This is not the thing. Sometimes people also ask me, oh, Matt, can I maybe start with a nice joke? Depends a little bit. If you're a funny person, maybe, but if not, this can go in the wrong direction, especially when it comes to dirty jokes. Guys like to do dirty jokes a lot. I would recommend you to maybe not do that. Yeah, just try to make your client, your prospect, the person you want to get into a relationship with. Like I said, the person you're talking to, like I said, it can be applied to sales. Life is a sales talk. Make them feel comfortable. Try to make them laugh. Make the situation, yeah, not so stressed, not so tied up and compressed. This is what I would recommend you. Otherwise, I would need to know like exactly in what situation this happens. So Ruby, if you want to put a comment again, like with an example, then I'm happy to answer this. In the meantime, I will go to the next question from Faraz. So step 1, people analysis, how I categorize them in short spans, so to deal with them accordingly. Faraz, I will send you, actually before I do this, I need to plug in my computer, otherwise this conversation will be over quickly. Faraz, I'm going to send you an unmute option, and if you like, you can unmute yourself and then we can speak. Let me just change the view. So we see you. Yes, there he is. Is this the Faraz I know? Yes, it is. Hi.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for joining.
Thanks. I'm getting a great contents and definitely the practical things.
Thank you.
And see, I'm in the car, but I don't want to miss it to you. I put the parking ticket and I'm here.
This is, my friends, if you're watching this or if you're watching the replay, this is dedication, yeah? Business and life is all about dedication. The ones who are dedicated, they're the ones who win. So Faraz, your question is about, you categorize them somebody in people analysis. Maybe you can like tell me exactly what the question is. Yeah.
Yes, in this one, the people analysis, for example, if I'm meeting the client, okay, if I'm meeting the customer's behavior. See, some people are arrogant, some people are stubborn, and that one. So they will stick to their point. So how we can deal according to the strategy? Some feel that one, oh, the product is quite good, but because of their stubborn nature and that one, they will stick to the particular point. So how we know their behavior, what hurts their ego, and accordingly. Sometimes they are interested, product is quite good, deal is quite good, but because of their tough behavior, they stick to their particular point.
Yeah. I think it kind of plays back to what I just said a moment ago about like, taking the wind out of the sail, maybe a little bit. When does this usually happen in a conversation? Like at the very beginning, or when do you experience this?
See, if it is an old client, no any problem is there. If we are meeting the new guy, the first interaction with him, or at the certain points, how we can judge what are the questions we will raise to gauge him, and accordingly we can put the point forward.
Yeah.
So what are the basic question in the beginning we can ask to judge the person behavior, what type of person he is, and accordingly we can proceed our deal.
Yeah, this is all about persuasion. Actually, a very good question. Thank you very much for that. What I've just explained to you kind of plays very well into this, because the thing is that people very often, let me just come back here so people see this properly. Yeah, so what happens very often is that people have a certain behavior. Yeah, so a good salesperson, a good person who's good at sales, whether it's business or private matters, you can influence that. You can impact how people behave, and I think that's what you're looking for, if I understood correctly. So what you can do, I think I know what you mean, is these people who you are in your process, you want to explain things, you want to do pain analysis, everything you've just learned. Maybe you do this already today, I don't know, but people constantly interrupt you. Yeah, they're constantly like, yeah, but you know, and this and that. I think this is what you mean, if I understand correctly. So what you can do if you have people like this is what I call difficult audience members. How you can deal with them is what you can do is that as the customer, I understand you have certain questions, certain concerns, you want, you know, to see certain things happen, so and so. I have a great idea. Why don't you explain to me what is the ideal scenario, what is the ideal solution, and so on, and then based on this I would offer you something, and then I would please ask you that you allow me also to explain this to you the proper way so that you get the maximum benefit out of it. This is how you could approach that. Does that answer your question? I mean, it depends highly, of course, on the example, on the situation, but is this kind of what you, does that help?
Yes, it's a great help. So in the beginning itself, we will get certain idea about him. So we will stick to the particular point. So better in the beginning, ask him to reveal what they want, and accordingly we can proceed.
Yeah, this is part of the analysis. This is what I said. People in business analysis is super critical, super important. What I've just told you, this is kind of sort of what you can start with. Of course, in the Middle East especially, hello, how are you, how was your day, would you like a tea, this, that, and the other, how was traffic, did you, you know how it goes, right? But once you get to the meat, so to say, of really getting into a conversation, this is kind of what you can start with. If you to tell me, for us, what I said in the beginning also, like, if you do this little hack where you say, you start writing something down, you say, if you don't mind, I'll just take a couple of notes about what you say, so I know exactly what's important for you and I can offer you something that solves your issues. Yeah, this, if you do that, this is something, you know, in an effective sales conversation, you need to tell people things they have never heard anywhere else before. And that's what the sales cycle is all about. Yeah. So like I said, only 1% of all people in sales do this, or all people in life, actually. 1%. On a personal note, maybe 2%, but in business, 1% does this. I would definitely make that claim. So if you start with something like this, do you mind if I take some notes? I want to offer you this and that and so on, and give you best offer, give you the best solution for your issue, whatever the conversation is about. Here you already win a lot of respect and a lot of attention. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Okay, good. Yeah, I still owe you guys the magic sentences. I actually avoided them now, but what I've just given Faraz as an example, I see there's another question. We'll come to this in a moment. I actually avoided it, but with what I just told him, this is perfect to add. So Faraz, please keep writing, and everyone else.
Yes,
yeah. And then if you can mute yourself again, if you have a question, just let me know in the chat, and then I will open your mic again. So because otherwise the picture keeps jumping back if you make the slightest breath. Yeah, just mute yourself, and then we're good. So 4 magic questions or 4 magic sentences, which you can apply throughout the entire sales cycle, pretty much anywhere here. Okay, pretty much anywhere you can apply them. What's important though, what I'm about to give you, those 4 sentences, please use them in a good dosage. As you might have heard before, this is some kind of a statement from medicine actually, whether something helps a problem, or let me start over again. Whether something cures a problem, makes the problem worse, or does nothing at all, is all a matter of dosage. So this applies to, yeah, this statement comes from medicine, but it applies also to sales, of course. Yeah, so everything in dosage. So sentence or question number 1, and you can always add this to something that you say, something that you suggest. Number 1, does that make sense? Please write them down. Some of them are extremely simple, but they make a huge, huge impact. Does that make sense? Then the next one, is that fair? Is that fair? Does that make sense? But not everything after each other, yeah? Like again, dosage, little points, little pinpoints here and there that you can always add afterwards. So does that make sense? Does that sound fair? Another one, is that fair? It's not the same as does that sound fair? Does that sound fair? And is that fair? That's different, yeah? And the fourth one, this is actually the best one. That's why I kept it until the end. Does that sound like a fair suggestion? Does that sound like a fair suggestion? I use this all the time. People who know me, they will confirm I use this in my life, in business, everywhere, but again, in little dosage points, yeah? And you can, of course, amend them a little bit. Does this sound like a fair suggestion? Is that a fair suggestion? With this, you can play around a little bit. But those four principle questions, four principle sentences I would use, again, does that make sense? Does that sound fair? Is that fair? And number four, I can't do the four. It's like, my hands can't do that, like this. Does that sound like a fair suggestion? So what I've just said to Faraz, this point of saying, if it's okay for you, I'll just take a couple of notes. I can make you a good offer and so on. We've been through this already twice now, so I don't think I need to repeat the whole thing. Does that sound like a fair suggestion? If you add this, total game changer. So wherever you are in the sales cycle and the sales conversation, use these four. And again, use them also in life, yeah? So for example, if yeah, you're having an argument with your partner, your husband, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and I don't know, maybe it's something silly, like, I don't know, you want to go to an Italian restaurant and your boyfriend wants to go to a Chinese restaurant, but you really want to go to this Italian restaurant for XYZ reasons, but you don't want to get into an argument. You don't want the night to end with takeout food. One orders Chinese, the other one Italian. You sit in the front of the television, you don't go out at all. I know a lot about relationships, but this is one sentence how you can avoid this. So what you could say to your boyfriend, for example, so again, you are the girl, you want to go to an Italian restaurant, your boyfriend wants to go to a Chinese restaurant. You don't want to have an argument, you don't want to destroy the night before it even started. You can say, okay, honey, tonight we're going to go to this Italian restaurant because I would really want to go there. I've heard so much about it. I saw it on What's on Dubai. It's so beautiful. I think we're going to have a great night. And in 3 days, or whenever your next date night is or whatever, we will go to the Chinese restaurant. You can pick the time, the exact location, the table, and even what we're going to eat when we go there. Does that sound like a fair suggestion? Different game, different story, different kind of conversation versus, no, but I want to go to the Italian restaurant tonight and we're going to go there and I don't want Chinese food. This is argumentative, yeah? This is confrontational, yeah? So if you do this the right way, also in your personal life, you will see great results. I'll see another question here. So let me have a look here. Like I said, we will not go home until all questions are answered. A couple of people have dropped off. They're tired of sales. So Ruby was asking, this is like applying in everyday life. Yeah, like I just did. Like a client, excuse me, like a client that we need to convince that a cost saving is not applicable for this certain scope. Just one quick word, Ruby, on this. We're not trying to convince, we're trying to persuade. It's a mindset shift. Again, you're probably hearing what I've just told you for the first time today, so no problem. No accusations, not saying you're doing this the wrong way or you didn't understand or whatever, but try to make that shift in your mindset. We're not trying to convince. Good sales not about convincing, good sales about persuasion, okay? Persuading. Let me read your question. So again, this is like applying in everyday life, like a client that we need to convince that, or persuade, as we now know, that a cost saving is not applicable for this certain scope. The problem is that they are fixated in there is a cost saving, but in reality there is none. Hence the client becomes argumentative and not listening. Yeah, Ruby, so very important. Again, I would love for you to maybe talk. Let me send you an offer again to unmute yourself if you like. Yeah, see, the thing is, if you said there's a cost saving, but in reality there is none. it's very important in sales that I'm not trying to say that you're being dishonest or something, but if there's, let's say in a client's mind, there is the thought or the expectation maybe that there will be a cost saving, but you already know there is no cost saving, then you need to point this out to your client, because honesty is really valued. And this is actually a good question. Thank you for that. A lot of people in sales, they promise a lot of things and then, you know, doesn't happen. It's like a bit like elections here in Germany or other countries. Before the election, you know, lots of promises, the election takes place, they got your vote, afterwards nobody remembers what they promised. So a lot of people operate in sales like this as well. Please don't do this. So even if you didn't promise a cost saving, but you already know that maybe this is in the client's head, that this is going to happen, take that away. Take this out of his mind, dismantle that, and at the same time, by telling them, and at the same time make them and offer a suggestion that will help them in some other way. So for example, can you maybe tell me in the chat real quick, Ruby, what is it that you're selling, what product or service, without having to mention a company name or anything, just like a general idea, because then it's a little bit easier to respond with an example. Let me see if something comes here. Otherwise, are there any other questions? I see Jana has joined as well. Is this the Jana, my client from Abu Dhabi, or some other Jana? Put in the chat box if you are the Jana. Then I will unmute you. You can say a little bit quickly if you like about what you have experienced so far in terms of sales game. Okay. I don't see any additional info coming here, but okay, let's take this example as generic. So let's say you are selling, I don't know. Let me think. I'll take my own stuff. I'm selling coaching courses, for example, or tickets to my event. So let's go with this. Ticket to my event. My next event is happening end of May. So now somebody thinks, oh, because I'm not Tony Robbins or whoever, yeah, my content is probably not worth anything. Why should I buy a ticket? A ticket's going to be priced around 150 dirhams. It's not that much, I think, but people will still say, oh, you know, why should I spend 150 dirhams? I can go to lots of events for free. And somebody would then maybe say to me, yeah, you know, Matt, I understand that this is maybe interesting, but yeah, you know, if I could get a ticket for free, then I would come and attend the event. But for 150 dirhams, nah, no, I don't see. There's so many free events I can go to. So this is kind of playing in the direction what Ruby was asking. So what I would say now is that, okay, I understand your point. I understand that it's a certain amount of money for you, and that maybe other events are done for free. But the question you should really be asking yourself, what kind of value do you get out of free stuff? And then I wait for an answer, okay? What kind of value do you get out of free stuff? Or you can make it a little bit more specific. You can say, what kind of value do you typically get out of free stuff? Because I know, again, this is part of my business analysis, I know that most of the time free stuff has absolutely no value. I'm doing this webinar also for free, but not because, yeah, you know, I could probably charge for this as well, but I want more people to see my content and also, yeah, get my name out there and help more people understand how my content, what it's like, how it works, and so on. Yeah, that it's the main reason why I'm doing free stuff at the moment is not because it has no value. I hope you don't feel that way based on the comments I saw here. It does have value to you, which is great. Thank you for that. But because I want to, yeah, get my name out there. That's why I do free stuff at the moment. And I want you to succeed. This is what it's all about. And in the process of building a tribe, that's what this is for. So, but typically that's what I would say. What kind of, or this is a question I would ask. This is like a value question, yeah? It's a little bit of pain analysis kind of, because I know that there's pain coming when I get the answer. So what kind of value do you typically get out of free content? And then I would say, and the person would say, oh yeah, you know, then, and then later in the offer and close, I would say, so you have told me that you would rather go to a free event, but let me ask you this. Instead of ask, this is very good if you, also in terms of anything that you sell. And if you have competitors who offer what you offer for free or very cheap, please make sure you write this down also. Let me ask you this. If another question here? 1 second. Not that I'm missing a point here with Ruby. No, that's from Rakesh. We'll come to this in a moment. Okay, so let me ask you this, or let me suggest you this. Instead of asking yourself whether you can afford this or not, what you should be asking yourself, can I afford to not do this, not attend, not join, not purchase, not try our product, our service, depending what it is. Yeah. So if I go with my event, for example, or my events, there will be more coming. I would say, instead of asking you whether or not you can afford to buy a ticket, what you should be asking yourself is, can you afford to not buy a ticket? Because think at it from this way, dear Mr. Customer. The worst thing that can happen to you is that you pay 150 dirhams to find out that the content that I offer has absolutely no value and is worthless and useless, and you never want to see me again. But what if you spend only 150 dirhams and you realize that this is useful stuff and it could help you increase your sales, for example, your life, your mindset, your financial situation. I have different topics, but let's go with the sales topic. What if you realize when you come to an event that you can improve your sales by 30%? Are 30% more sales worth more than 150 dirhams or not? That's a question you should be asking yourself. Yeah, so this is, for example, how I do it when people tell me they don't want to come to my event, they think the tickets are too expensive and so on. Yeah. And then you can always, of course, you have to put this into relation to be truthful. But I know, based on what other clients have achieved, 30% sales increase after you have been to my event for 2 days. We talk about lots of different topics, and sales is a big part of it. I know from clients that average, this is not the top, this is average, they improve their sales or increase their sales by 30%. And even if you increase your sales only by 10%, is it not worth 150 dirhams? Is it not worth 150 dirhams to realize that here there's another coach that I don't need to listen to, this is also just telling hot air and blah, blah, and so on. So this is how you can do it when it's about a financial aspect, that people think they can get what you offer somewhere else for free and so on. This is how you can do it. I hope this is useful. So then let's see, we have a question from Rakesh. How can we convince a client who has already, in the meantime, I'll put this back up in case you didn't take notes. How can we convince a client who has already used a cheaper product service, which is of same quality and standard than your products or service, which is a bit expensive? Yeah, it's kind of what I just said in a way, but also I would have to add here, what you need to do, Rakesh, is you need to point out what the benefits are. So this is when the offer and close comes. We've talked about this. When this part comes here, this is where you explain all the benefits, but don't be too detailed. Don't be too, like, nitty gritty little bits and pieces, little details. Depends a little bit, of course, what you sell. If you sell, I don't know, medical appliances or ventilators in the hospitals that keep people breathing, of course, you need to share some details. It's important. It's a life or death situation if the ventilator works the way it should or not, of course. But always in dosage and what is really relevant to the client. This is what you need to keep in mind. But yeah, if it's about price, like I said before, if your knowledge ain't paramount, you're gonna need a discount. Yeah, if you don't know anything, then you have to do it over the price. And this is what bad salespeople do. They dilute their product. Please don't ride the discount train. Like I've said before, don't dilute your product or service. Whatever benefits you have over your competitors, this is what you need to get across. If you don't have any benefits over your competitors, then there's something wrong with your product or service. You should be able to deliver something that others don't. And if you can do that, you can also have a higher price. It's a matter of quality. It's maybe a matter of maintenance, a matter of support, a matter of manufacturing procedures. Maybe it's a matter of sustainability. Maybe, I don't know, if you sell t-shirts which are made in the UAE, yeah, of course they cost more than a t-shirt in China, but maybe your clients are interested in purchasing t-shirts that, there's no need to poison a river in China or a river in Bangladesh in order to, make these shirts in blue color. It's just an example, yeah, but there's always some kind of benefit that you have, and that's what you need to point out. Like I said, if it's not the price, then, and that's fine. You don't have to be the cheapest in the market. This is not how you should operate. Quality, service, maintenance, sustainability, all these things. Whatever it is you're good at, better than your competitors, that needs to be one of your main selling arguments. I hope that answers the question. Ruby saying, thank you for the response. I think it is really helpful. I think persuasion and persistence will definitely help. Yeah, you bet. They do. Okay, if there's no other questions, we're actually done with, I've said it's going to be an hour and a half. I don't like to overstretch. I can't stand coaches who talk for 3 hours and they say it's going to be an hour and a half. I'm not here to steal your time. I find this very disrespectful if you steal people's time. What I do want to say though, I will do another session in a week from today. We'll do half an hour later because I saw a couple of people were having issues with the time. So next Tuesday is the 5th of April and at 7:30 local time. And this will be about only objection handling, because objection handling, there's much more. I can talk about objection handling for 3 hours. So if you found this useful today and you want to know more about objection handling, maybe some more examples, I would recommend you to join it. I will put the link in the chat box in a second. In the meantime, here's the sales cycle again. Let me just copy that. So it's called Effective Objection Handling, the Champions League of Persuasion. I just saw there's a spelling error here, but we'll fix that later. So let me just copy this. Just a second. And then I'll put this in the chat. And if you are interested in this, then I would recommend you to sign up now. Go on the Meetup page, sign up now for next week, and please do share this with your friends, your colleagues, maybe even your boss. You know, if you work in a company somewhere and you found this interesting today and you say, oh, my boss should see this, then invite your boss. Very, very happy. This will be a free session again. Like I said, I'm here to deliver more content, build a tribe. Would be happy if you join my tribe. In order to join my tribe, you can message me. You can join me on Facebook, on Instagram, maybe LinkedIn. I will put my link in the chat box as well. Let me do that real quick. In the meantime, you can sign up for the event or the webinar next week. And then I will just paste here my Linktree link. This kind of double whammy. My Linktree link in the chat box. So here you can connect with me. I'm just going to share that real quick. Just show you real quick what you can do here. I'll just put it on the screen. So what you can do here, as you can see here, you can book a call with me. So here's an online calendar. You can see that here. Just accept the cookies. You can book a call if you want to have a deeper conversation. Mohammed, you said about, just come back. Mohammed, for you, for example, you were interested in the sales course, just book a call with me. We can have a easy flowing conversations, talk about what you're looking for, if I can help you maybe, and see how we can potentially improve your sales game depending on what your objectives are and so on. Does that sound like a fair suggestion? Yeah, and then yeah, I have some other stuff here. Up here you have my links for social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel. I'm happy if you would subscribe to YouTube. My channel is still in a very small phase, let's say. I'm on LinkedIn as well if you want to connect there. This is probably the best for business purposes. If you're interested in crypto and trading, that's another two of my big topics. There's free trials here. You can try out, learn about cryptos, learn about trading. If that's of interest to you, I have a podcast also on the website. So go on ahead and maybe just save the link that's in the chat box. And then you can have a look later on. Just go on the page, make it a favorite, and then you can take a look later on and connect if you want to. See, there's one more here. What do we have here? Thank you, Matt. It was very insightful, says Ishan. Thank you, my pleasure. Thank you for that. Great, got a lot of magic points. Farah says, great, got a lot of magic points to crack a deal. Awesome, okay. Yeah. Rakesh says, effective time been spent on attending your valuable session. Thanks, Matt. You're very welcome. That was a great session, says Sylvie. Very informative, highly appreciated. Okay, very good. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for all the positive comments. Looks like you had a beneficial session. So did I. Really enjoy talking to people. Again, end of May is going to be my next event. Actually, finally live event after 2 years of COVID break. I'm so tired of this. I don't mind talking to you online. I actually enjoy talking to you, but it's just a different thing if we talk in person. So end of May, 21st and 22nd of May will be my next event in Dubai. I will announce this very shortly. So if you connect with me through LinkedIn, Facebook, or book a call with me, or follow me on social media, you will definitely get this information. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening, a great night. Thank you for being here, for joining, for attending, also staying until the end. The little offer, what I suggested you, or what I promised you at the beginning, was this additional session next week, which I will do for you. And then I look forward to seeing you again. And again, there we will also do a Q&A, and we're really going to dig very deep into objection handling, because objection handling, like I said, is the Champions League of sales. Thank you very much. All the best. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.